That's the whole course. 3 systems, each one compounding, that together turn the method you brought in from your first build into a practice that holds up across every build after it. Before we close, let me put all 3 back together, because they were always one system, and then I'll show you where it goes from here. Start with what you walk out of here able to do. You came in with a method that worked once, on one build when it was new. You leave with the operator depth version, the one that doesn't decay the moment the project stops being new. Documentation that keeps its own memory straight while you build. Verification that catches what your eyes miss before a user ever does. And feedback loops that make the method itself get sharper every single time you ship. That's the payoff. Not 3 more things to remember. One practice that compounds. Here's how the pieces got you there. First, documentation that maintains itself. The brief stopped being the file you wrote on day 1 and never opened again. It became a living document, a locked layer for what the project is and a living layer for what it currently is, updated as a side effect of the work. Decision records became your running memory. What you chose, what else you weighed, why this one won, captured the moment the decision landed instead of reconstructed from memory 3 months later. And the rules that drive them became a documentation engine, a small set of triggers, each with a template and a confirmation step. So the AI maintains the whole record as you build, and you just confirm it. You make the decisions. The AI keeps the record. That's documentation that maintains itself. Then, verification that catches what you miss. You stopped trusting green checks. Static success, the lint, the tests, the type checks, means the code is well formed. It does not mean the thing works, and the two live together all the time. So you started verifying the layer underneath. What actually happens to a real person using the real build? You wrote the bar down, a templated definition of done, one per kind of work, loaded at the start, so the AI builds to the real standard from the first line. You learn to hunt, to stop asking, does it work, and start asking, what's hiding, sending the AI to the empty state, the error path, the boundaries, the thing users actually do second. Find one thing wrong, then fix it. And every bug that ever got past you became a permanent line on a checklist that grows with the project. So the build remembers your mistakes for you. That's verification that catches what you miss. Then feedback loops that compound, the one that ties the other two together. Because a project that documents itself and verifies itself is still only half a system if the method never learns. So the decision log became living history, not a change log, not a journal, but the running narrative of why the project is shaped the way it is. The first thing the AI reads when it walks into a session. The daily review became the practice that keeps it all alive. 10, 15 minutes at the start and end of a session. Read what's recent, set the intent, capture what you landed and learned, prune what no longer matters, and run that long enough, and the loop matures. The AI stops waiting for instructions and starts surfacing the questions you didn't think to ask. 6 months ago, you rejected this for compliance reasons. The new option has the same gap. Are you sure? That's not a fancy prompt. That's the loop working. That's feedback loops that compound. Put all 3 together, and here's what you actually have. A project that keeps its own memory, pressure tests its own work, and gets a little smarter every time you ship, with you making the calls and the system carrying the weight. That's the difference between someone who builds the same way they did on day 1 and an operator 3 months in whose method is visibly sharper than it was. Not magic. 3 systems run consistently until they compound. That's beyond foundations. Now the honest part, where this goes next and where it stops being free. Everything you just learned, you run with the build kit on your own projects, with your own hands. That's the practice, and it's genuinely enough to start. But underneath the practice, there's an engineering layer, the production grade version of all of it. And that's where the next depth lives. It's the difference between documentation you keep by hand and a stack the AI can reach into live. Between verification you run at your desk and verification that runs itself in production, around the clock on everything you ship. Between a method you maintain and an operating system for the way you build. That layer is real, it's substantial, and it's where premium picks up. Let me name where it lives, specifically, so you know what's there. Inside the build is the weekly technical drop, the engineering layer, built in front of you, one piece a week, the connected stack patterns, the verification harness, the agentic workflows. Alex's tech stack, when it ships, walks the full production setup an operator actually runs. The deployment, the secrets, the error tracking, the whole machine end to end. In convert, your old project is the course for the work you didn't build this way. The real code base you wrote 2 years ago. The live business system that needs the method retrofitted onto it instead of started fresh. That's the catalog. The practice you just learned, taken all the way down to production depth. It's all part of the membership. One room, everything included. There's one more path worth naming, and it's a different shape. If a subscription isn't your move right now, but you want to push your own discipline with something at stake, there's the Build Challenge, a cohort competition where a group goes head-to-head on real projects inside this structure. 3 weeks, a real ship, judged at the end, with the winner taking a cash prize and a feature on the channel. It's the method you already have, with stakes and a deadline and other people building alongside you. Specific, time-boxed, real. The details and the price for both premium and the challenge are on the join page. Links in the description. And while you're deciding, go look at the proof. Go look at Scale BOSS. It's a live business operating system. Real companies run their operations on it every day, built with these exact methods. The thing that used to take a team of engineers, a year of runway, and a budget you'd have to beg an investor for. One person who knows what they're doing can build now. And I'm building Revistack in public right now. Its first piece, Brand Engine, is the tool that builds my content. These aren't slides. They're real software, running, built exactly this way. You can go see them. Links are below. That's the honest answer to, does this actually work at scale? Go look at what it built. But you don't need any of that to start. You have all 3 systems right now. The documentation engine, the verification discipline, the feedback loop. Stand them up on your real project, run them for a few weeks, and watch the method stop being something you maintain and start being something that maintains itself. The door to the deep end is open whenever you want it. You already have everything you need to begin. One last thing, to whoever made it all the way here. If you got through this course, you didn't just watch, you did the depth work. You have a method that compounds, and you're exactly the person this was built for. So come find me in the community. I read every post. I want to see what you build, what's working, what isn't. Whichever path you take next, that's where you'll find me. Vibe coding gives you speed. Agentic engineering gives you software. You're already past speed. Now, go build. I'll see you in there.